Hello and welcome back to another beautiful Friday. So this week, February is ending, winter is finally ending, and my roll of film that I just shot has ended. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my film camera and this past roll of film that I shot, so let's get into it. You might be wondering why I choose to shoot on film in the first place, and the reason why I love film is because you only have so many shots and you have to make it count. Film reminds me that I can't control everything. I can only control what I can control, and it just grounds me in a way that not a lot of other things do. So if I make a mistake or mess up and I get my photos back and I still love them, it reminds me that it's okay to make mistakes. And sometimes you might think that you're making a mistake and it doesn't actually make a difference. Like, the photos are still there, the memories are still good, and yes. There's also a certain type of authenticity that comes with shooting on film because, again, you only have a certain number of shots, you have to make it count, and you can only control what you can control. Like, if the lighting's bad, if a bird flies by, if I stumble or move, or my contacts aren't right and it's not quite fully in focus, then it is what it is. Before we get into the photos, let me introduce you to my camera, tell you the film that I was using, and introduce you to the little local place where I get my photos developed. So here we go. This is my camera. I shoot on a Canon AE-1 for no other reason than my friend told me to. So thanks, Alex. I love my camera and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So this past roll that I shot on Portra 400 because I'm basic. That's it. That's the whole reason I shot on that. And I developed it at a local store relatively close by my house. This place, Yutkin. That was horribly pronounced. Anyway, they're great, a lovely local business. So let's take a look at some of the photos from autumn and winter 2020/2021 and the moments that matter to me in these past 6 or so months. Before we get into these photos, there are loads of photos that I have that show my friends and my family, but since they did not consent to having their photos blasted all over the internet like this, you're only going to get to see a couple of photos of me and George because he lets me put photos in, and I have his full consent to do that. You'll also get to see some other photos where, even though the photo itself is just aesthetically pleasing, the story behind it, I think, is what makes it interesting. So let's get into it. This first photo was taken in September of 2020 when I went to a friend's house to catch up and have drinks and have dinner with her, and also to meet her mom, who had very, very graciously given George an opportunity to work for her, which totally changed the trajectory of the latter half of our year. And if it wasn't for this friend and her family, I can definitely say that the end of 2020 would have been garbage for me. Yeah, so whenever I look at this photo, I'm reminded of her friendship and everything that she's done for me, so thanks, Alex. These last 3 photos were taken in October when we went on our last boat trip of kind of the season. It's strange to think that we were even able to go on a boat in October because I never associate October with like boat times. But yeah, it was awesome. We went with our friends and our family, and it was a beautiful day. There were tons of other people out as well, and it was just really nice to have this sense of like, summer life outside of COVID, and we're so lucky that we were even given the opportunity to do that. And here's a really cute one. Me and George looking lovingly into each other's eyes, trying to take a candid photo, even though we look like we both just rolled out of bed. But oh, to be on a boat in the summer sun, or in this case, the October sun. This last photo was taken right at the end of that last boat trip, and I just remember feeling cold and tired, but happy, and like the good kind of tired, like I had had a really good day. And whenever you're coming back into the harbor after a boat trip, after kind of like those hours away where you feel like you're in a different place, it's nice to come back and realize that Hong Kong is the kind of city that has it all, and that's why I love it. And whenever I see the skyline, I'm just like, yeah, that's my home. I live here. This second photo is taken on Pottinger Street, one of the most iconic little streets in Hong Kong, and it's taken in October. George and I were throwing our first Halloween party in our new apartment, and we went decoration shopping, and there's George holding a spider. yeah, I love this. And obviously the mask is very telling of our 2020, and October was a time when we actually were able to go outside and do stuff. So looking back at these, I'm just like, wow, we did it. We had a Halloween party. This photo was taken in Statue Square sometime in November. George and I were having a little impromptu lunch date, and I decided to stop and take a photo. And November wasn't a horrible time for us, but it definitely wasn't the greatest. We had almost been home for a year, and things weren't really looking up for us, and having this kind of brief moment to sit in the park and just hang out with each other and feel some kind of sense of calm and normalcy is what this photo reminds me of. This photo was taken in November of 2020 when I was catching up with an old friend over some bonded trauma, which is not a great circumstance, but what I remember from this day is just feeling so seen and so heard and so validated in the feelings that I was having. So whenever I see this photo, I think of that, and I also think of the friendship that has blossomed, bloomed, been rejuvenated by this one talk, this one time that we had tea, and I'm very thankful for that friendship. So yes, that's what this lady reminds me of. These last two photos were taken in January of 2021. George and I went to a friend's housewarming party, and the vibes were just so unbelievably good. And whenever I look back at these photos, I just get a flood. Okay, it's only been a couple weeks, but I get a flood of memories for what a good day that was. And just, I'm reminded that there are so many people in my life that are just good vibes all the time. And I love that. And this is what that reminds me of. Also, it's given me a little insight into what that post-pandemic life might actually be like, and I'm so excited. So whenever I look at these photos, I'm just like, you know what, even in a pandemic world, there are these little brief moments of hope that make me want to just keep moving forward. Lastly, I'm going to throw in two bonus pictures that weren't taken by me, but were taken by my friend John at my 24th birthday party. And looking back on these photos, I just remember having the best day, the best birthday that I could have asked for 24. And even though it's only been 3 weeks since my birthday, I'm really feeling that 24 is my year. And when I look back on these photos, even just 3 weeks later, I am reminded how much I am loved by my friends and my family, and that is a feeling that is unbeatable. So thanks, John. I hope you enjoyed looking at those photos and the moments that mattered to me in the autumn and winter of 2020/2021. And you know what? I really enjoyed sharing them. I just looking back on film is just like a special kind of That's a special kind of joy, and I love it. If you like this video, don't forget to ding, smash, dude all the relevant buttons. It really helps me out as a small creator. And if you haven't subscribed, please do, because I'm really enjoying making these videos, and I think this video might become part of a series that is coming out maybe at the end of March. But you know what? We'll get there. We will get there. I get really embarrassed at the end of these, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. 1, 2, 3, 4.